We're going to prepare for meditation right now. And as you heard, we had a sisterhood retreat for the last few days. And I'd like to invite my sisters who are at that retreat to, in this moment, remember our circle, remember our altar, remember the light that was grown in our hearts. And I invite you to let that light shine and spread it out to the whole congregation today. As together we sit and take a deep breath, you're invited to breathe in a belly breath and release the breath very slowly, allowing your spirit, your mind, your heart, and your soul to come into this precious moment. Taking in another deep breath, knowing that only thing that exists right now is what is going on here right now. The sound of the notes on the piano, the sound of my voice, and the feelings that you're feeling in your body, no matter what they are okay, valued and welcome right now. So breathe it in. Acceptance for all that is, because you, my dear one, are a beautiful child of God. And God looks down upon you, as does the goddess look down upon you. And Mother, Father, God is here with you now, whispering in your ear, with all you've been going through, with all you've come from, with all of your worries and your hopes and your dreams. I am here with you now. And my darling, I love you. I love you. You are strong. You have been through a lot. My dear, you are a warrior, a warrior. And I've been with you each step of the way. And my dear one, now you're crossing a threshold. And in that threshold that you cross, you're leaving behind the old, the struggles, the patterns, the conditionings that have kept you down for so long. And now as you cross this threshold, you enter into the light. The light that you've always known, that's whispered to you since you were young, that has said that this is a place where you can love and be loved. And right now, the seeds of that living are being planted. And my dear one, my beloved, water those seeds as I water them with you, because you, to me, are the divine one. You are the light of the world. Breathe that in. And let it build in you. You are all wanted here. You are not alone. And right now, know that you are in a sacred connection that's bringing you into a world of harmony, collaboration, and unity. Breathe that in. And we say, Amen, and join me in saying, and so it is. It is. Thank you. Thank you. When I walked in this morning, Nancy said it might get a little emotional up here, and I'm telling you, I'm so emotional. What this community created the last couple of days was so rich, profound, deep, and scary. It was. Because back in the dead of winter, we were talking about, well, Vivian and I were talking. Janice was there in the beginning, wherever you are. Janice was there in the first conversation. What does this community need right now? And with all that's going on in the world, it was connection. People were really craving connection and meaningful conversations in a safe place. And we also felt, we just had a sense, though it didn't make sense, that something was being born. So we declared, we're going to have a retreat where something's being born. Do you know how scary that is to say that? So every time we would say it, something's being born and come, something's being born, it would be like, God, I hope so. It would be really embarrassing if that doesn't happen. The name of the retreat that we came up with as a team was Create Sacred Connection, a sisterhood retreat. And so we had to ask ourselves, what is sacred connection? Think about it. We want to create it. Who wants to create sacred connection? Everybody. Now, can I ask you a question? And if you were at the retreat, don't say anything. What is sacred connection? You know, if you got to kind of go, what are we wanting? So if you were at the retreat and you recall the exercise that we did, where we started to really embody what qualities are needed, who do I have to be in order to enable sacred connection? What qualities are those? And popcorn style, call them out. Trust. Authenticity. Heart to heart. Love. Listening. Patience. Willingness. Patience. Authenticity. Recognition. Validating. Validation. Safety. Do you hear these words? Did I say them too fast? Were you able to take them in? These are the conditions that would create sacred connection. But then we started to picture ourselves and say, well, okay, that opens up the space of sacred connection. And God is so good. God shows up. Goddess is so good, and God. Goddess and God are so good that they gave us an amazing example of how to be in the world no matter what's going on, to facilitate sacred connection. Because one thing we learned in this process of building the retreat is that it feels so good. Do you feel it? But it can also be really messy. When you're giving birth to something, birth is not neat and clean, and it's messy. And creating sacred connection can be messy. But the question is, how do we stay in it to facilitate it? How do we give birth to a new way? And we had a wonderful example. First day in the morning before the retreat began. Tiffany?
Well, hello. Try it again. Well, hello.
Here you go.
There she is.
No.
Nailed it. There we are. So day one, full of all that excitement and knowing what was going to come in the next few days, anticipating, I went out early to make sure we had an extra large coffee run. And as I was standing there, I was really excited. I put on a long, ruffly flower skirt. And I went into a gas station to get my order in my flowery dress, full of just buzzing excitement. And I hear someone come up, a big burly construction guy next to me. And all I hear, I'm from New York now, so if someone's talking next to me, I assume it's not to me. I just assume they're having an experience of their own. So I'm here, and all I hear is, Trump. I just heard a grumble, and I thought it was a phone call, and I just continued to mind my own business. And then he paused, and I heard, you with your little flowery look. Ah, that was for me. But I coded myself in light, because if you don't know, now you know, I was raised in unity. So I just said, okay, still not mine. Covered myself with a little protective light. Went on about it. And then I needed to get a big bottle of water. So I looked up at the fridge, and there's my friend standing right where I needed to go. And I thought, perfect. So I walked there, coated in my love and light. I looked him directly in the eye, and I gave him the biggest smile. And he smiled back. I think I just disarmed him. And that was all I needed. Whether it was to me or for him, we changed it in that moment. And that was how I started my retreat and came back to tell Susanna.
So in that, she stayed in her authentic self. She validated. She didn't try to change, she didn't try fix, she didn't try to solve, she didn't try and resist. She stayed in her heart, and she stayed in that light and just brought her light authentically to him with a smile. And that brought light in the darkness. In the retreat, for me, the day before the retreat began, I was so on time and packing my car, and everything was going so well. And then I get in my car, and there's a big yellow oil light that goes on. I'm like, are you kidding me? How could that be? I mean, we're getting ready for this retreat about sacred connection. Why this now? Well, it turns out that the circuit that turns on that oil light and makes sure that the oil is flowing was broken. So it needed to be replaced. Without replacement, the oil could dry up and the different parts of the system would burn up, and it could be dangerous. And so knowing that, in my experience, when God's talking to me, God doesn't drop down in a mustache and beard and drop down on a ladder and start talking to me like I'm talking to you. And Goddess doesn't drop down on a, pedestal like Cher with long hair and big brown eyes and start talking to me. The way the universe talks to me is with things like this. So I'm trying to decode it. What does this mean? And I realize, oh my God, that makes perfect sense, because right now, though, in the outer world, it seems like things are so dark. It's like the demolition is really coming to an end in our evolution of consciousness, renovation, and we are being rewired. We are getting new circuitry. The circuitry we've been living in has been one where we push ourselves and go, 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 where all of our systems are not being flowed with that essential oil, whether it's mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically. We care for others, we do for others, we should be doing this, we have to do that, we must run here, we gotta get it done, we gotta do this. And the system starts to burn up until our bodies break down and we learn to slow down. But now we're getting a rewiring of that circuitry if we invite it in, so that there's flow, there's connection with our system, there's connection with each other, where we be with each other. We're not overly thinking and logical. We're starting to be heart to heart, eye to eye, where we're not afraid of our feelings, where we can be emotional, all of us, where we can just be present. This is the rewiring of what could be being born within us. So at the retreat, different people shared what they found from the experience of being in a room where they could talk and be heard. Just be heard. Not someone giving advice, not saying this is what you should do, not saying, I know what you're going through, let me tell you how I handled it. But instead, just was present. And do you know how many people said people were present with me? How rare that is. So I want to invite up my sisters to take seats up front or sit on the edge of the stage, or Carol, you could stay there if you want to until you're ready to talk. But the other sisters that want to share your experience, what you feel was sparked, what was inspired, what was awakened, what is being born. And come on up here. And this is to share it with each one of you, because though you weren't there with us, you were. And in this experience, some things may touch you and awaken things in you, and know that you are part of this circle. You are here with us. Okay. And I'm going to start, since you're all up here. Can we come together in a circle? Honey, can we come, Cynthia, can we come together in a circle? So just look in my eyes and look in each other's eyes and Kathy. We're going to stay in our circle. No, okay. All right. Okay. Can I have your attention? I'd like you to imagine that we're in the circle from yesterday and the altar is between us. Just picture that altar. Bring in the love that was in the room. Recall it in your hearts. Feel the validation that you felt. And then we're going to open up the circle, and we're going to stand behind the podium, and one at a time, those who were called to share, come on up, and we'll stand behind. Shall we do that now?
Good morning. First of all, good morning. Not that one. Good morning. This is the speaking mic. Good morning. First of all, I would just like to applaud the leaders and the facilitators of this group and who organized it. Thank you for Susanna to call me, and that's why I was here. But just to get to the point, was the best part for me was when I had to release and let go of things that I no longer need, from people, places, and things, whether parents, whether siblings, uncle, whomever it would be, which I thought I did, and I did do that, but I wrote them down. And then after I wrote them down, later on that evening, we were able to burn them, and it was such a release. It was amazing. Thank you.
One of the most amazing things about this retreat was you were only a stranger with each other for maybe a minute.
Yeah.
It was so divine. It was so meaningful. It will be a turning point for me for the rest of my life to be with these glorious women. And I just felt glory, hallelujah, the whole weekend. It was, and it reminded me, I want to bring it forward to my life, my family, my friends, my cashiers, my sales clerks, my mail carrier. I want to spread that, because the fact that a lot of us were strangers and we got together for a weekend and there was so much love and connection says to me that love and connection is out there in the world also.
Carol, what was one thing that allowed that love and connection? What was one thing?
The thing that I did for this retreat that helped me the most was I didn't talk a lot. And as you know, I love to talk. So I was able to receive a lot more, and I felt so absorbent, and I still feel that mellowness and peace inside of me so strongly, and I want to cultivate that with my morning practice, and want to cultivate that with my daily life and all the people in my life.
Well, greetings all. Unlike Carol, I did talk. In preparation for this retreat and other retreats that I have attended, I knew it was important that I open up ahead of time so that as I engaged in any activity that did occur, I could go ahead and receive what was there for me to take. It may not be there for what other people would take, but what was it that I was going to benefit from in hearing and processing. And that occurred throughout the entire retreat. We had opportunities for conversations. We had opportunities for reflections. We had opportunities to share and to shut up and listen. We had opportunities to cry. We had opportunities to feel vulnerabilities and to be okay with that and to grow through that moment and be able to see on the other side of that. So as the retreat progressed, we all engaged and we sang songs and we laughed and we shared our stories. But above all, we were encouraged to be ourselves. We were encouraged to come as we are. And while we were there, we were suggested to dress up in something that really was sensitive to you or allowed you to express some essence of yourself. I chose to dress what I have on now, and in part of that, I topped it with a hat. But away from all of that, we were able to grow individually and to take something back that was special to us. And the one thing, you asked one thing, the one thing that was really significant to me, and it might be because it was towards the end of the retreat in which I experienced this, but was the notion, thank you, Kathy Baker, for being the leader of this session. It was the notion of having a soul print. And that soul print was one that was unlike others, and we should be proud of who we are and be willing to express that soul print with our friends, with each other, and in any way we can be of influence in this wonderful world that we live in. Thank you.
Well, I have to say, I have been to many retreats, and the last Unity retreat was probably 50 some plus years ago. And the joy and the camaraderie and the love that I felt back then was the love that I felt this weekend. One of the things that I experienced that I have never experienced before was the sound bath. And I had no clue what it was going to be, but when it was over with, I felt a different sense of something. And the other thing was, right after that, when one of the gals talked about purging some information into the fire, after we were, during the process of the weekend, I went into one of the deepest meditations I had ever gone in. And it filled me. It filled me with the light that I already knew I had in me, and it made it brighter.
I am so grateful for all of the ladies that came to it and that put it on, and especially for Vivian for not giving up. Because my sister, Dawn, has been talking about the retreat for 2 years. And she's like, this is something you want to go to, and last year it just didn't work out. So this year I was really looking forward to it, but a little apprehension because I had been to retreats before and just didn't feel like I belonged or so I wasn't sure how this retreat would start off. And as soon as I walked in, you know, they were welcoming and just hugs, and just everybody just made me feel welcome and valuable, and, because sometimes I just feel invisible. And, I'm like, why am I here? And, but as a woman and just connecting with all these beautiful women, I'm not alone. I got to be fully present with Gretchen, and, sometimes I'm listening to my kids and I want to give them advice and I want to fix their problems, and it's hard as a mother to just be present and just listen. And so I was like that with Gretchen, and I got to be there and, not being on my phone and half listening and just hear her and validate and really, be there for her. And she was there for me, which was a godsend. It was just wonderful. And I'm so glad for this retreat and all these connections. And I have more friends than I ever thought I would have. And I love all you ladies.
I just want to say this is really strange. The process of being on the team was wonderful. That was Barbara and Tiffany and Susanna and Chris. Did I forget somebody? Oh, Vivian, of course, Vivian. But I was going to talk about how it was like giving birth. The process of getting to the retreat was like giving birth, and it was. But I just came in touch with something else while I was listening to my fellow women. I was standing up here when Susanna invited us all to come up here. My first thought was, oh my God, the people that weren't at the retreat, especially the men, they're going to say, well, this isn't a church service, we're missing our church service. And that was what I thought when I came up here. But when I got to the top step, I thought, is this not what the whole thing was about? That women need to take up our own space and not be apologetic about it anymore. So here we are.
I would just like to say that one of the activities we did yesterday that was a bit uncomfortable for me had to do with releasing generational trauma throughout our ancestry and our families. And I struggled with this a bit because although we were told to do it without judgment, it was difficult for me to do without judgment. When you're looking at depression and anxiety and alcoholism and addiction and neglect and sometimes even abuse, how do you not feel judgmental about that? So I went along with the program anyhow because I'm a good sport. And when we had our bonfire and we threw all of our whatever we had written into the bonfire to release it, I sat there very politely and obediently, not really sure that I was knowing what I was doing and the good that it might bring or not, okay? But I went with the flow. This morning, during Susanna's meditation, my third eye opened and I saw in the center of the church Jesus and two women, and I thought, who are these ladies? And my inner voice said, the mother and the Magdalene. Yeah. Okay? And I thought, oh, how nice. And then our entire congregation was surrounded in all these beautiful, colorful spectrums of angels, and in between each little group of angels were the archangels. And then all of these ancestors that belong to us started to make an appearance, and with them, they brought their gratitude. So it worked. So thank you. And I'd just like to end by saying that although she's too polite and too much of a lady to say it publicly, I am the one that bullied Cynthia into wearing her outfit today. She did not want to do this. And I said, you have to, foot stomp and all. Doesn't she look gorgeous?
And one thing to add, because of what Janice did to clear from herself, it cleared it from all of her ancestors too, for which is the reason they were so grateful.
I just want to say that this was such a powerful experience. I know not just for me, but for everybody here. We were rewired in a very powerful way of connecting and relating to each other and the world. A new way that was born in me was a holistic way of looking, realizing that we are communicating on so many levels. And by Tiffany's experience, she didn't have to say too much, just a smile changed that whole thing. And so I just think that every woman here brought something special, especially I'm looking at the women who planned this and gave their talent, their time, and all their love in putting it into reality. It makes me see, the Buddhists talk about the diamond mind, that when the awakened person has that consciousness, each one helped open a facet of mine and polish it up.
There's so many levels of experience here, and I'm just honored to be such a part of it. And I really struggled when Susanna asked me to think of the one thing that I really got out of this retreat, because I got something out of all of it. But I did narrow it down. We had an exercise where, and I was the guinea pig with Barbara and Tiffany, and they surrounded me, and I told them 3 truths about myself. And that's kind of hard anyway, because you have to be immodest. You say, well, I am this and I am that. And then after I did that, they affirmed it to me. They came back to me and they repeated what I said to them. And I was just a bucket of tears after that. But it just opened the door, opened my eyes to the fact that I am worthy, and I am good, and I am a woman, and I'm not going to stop talking. But I will start listening more. Thank you.
What you see in here gathered 5 unity churches together, plus some people who didn't know unity. I want to acknowledge Donna, who drove 50 miles to be here today just to give you her share. And she said, but I'm coming wearing shorts. I'm wearing my shorts. You didn't wear your shorts. You're all dressed up.
Susanna said, wear whatever you want. And I'm like, oh, I really can't.
What you see here is the result of an amazing board that approved a retreat. And we give thanks to the board because they didn't know what this would be. We created this from nothing. So let's give our thanks to the board. We give thanks to Vivian because she had a plan for a retreat that all fell through. And she could have said, oh, well, we'll skip it. But she didn't. And she went out on a limb in, let's create something will be born, and said, okay. So here's to Vivian. We give thanks to our men's group because at the men's group, 2 of the men had an intuitive feeling that at the retreat we would need their help with the audio. we didn't think we had any audio issues, and they were there all day. So to Mike and Joe, who are part of the Sisterhood Retreat, we give great thanks. We give thanks to Nicole, our administrator. We give thanks to the beautiful facilitators who I would like to step up front one at a time. Chris Gilly, who gave us art, What is Being Born of the Divine Feminine. Kathy Baker, Discovering the Divine Feminine as Your Soul Print. Barbara Bellamy, who brought us our spiritual heroines who've lived with courage and inspire us how to live the light with courage. Tiffany Stoker, who did Stretch and Connect, which got us to use our vibration to wake up our soul print. Barbara and Tiffany and all the music and exercises and chanting they did just lifted the vibration. Vivian, you should come up and stand with us. And so let us give our thanks for what they did for all of us. Thank you so, so much. You're welcome. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And thanks to all the women who came. It takes courage to do this work. Thank you, everybody. Much love to each one of you. You can be seated. And so as they go down, I'm going to keep talking because we are going over. We're going to continue to go over today, and I'm sorry. But I want to let you know, how many people here know Bruce Lipton? Bruce Lipton wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. It's very much, he's a doctor, how your words and your thoughts affect your body. A lot of us have followed Bruce Lipton's work. He's like, oh, I can't think of her name. Okay, I see her face. But he's a very big advocate for what you say, what you think about, you bring about. But he shows the scientific reasoning behind it. Well, Bruce Lipton, 2 years ago, went to the doctor because he had some throat problems, and he was told he had throat and tongue cancer. And the doctor said he would have to have his tongue cut out and go through very, very serious treatments that would limit him. And the doctor was surprised because he didn't look upset at all when he heard the news. Because as he wrote, he goes, I wrote the damn book on biology of belief, so why should this bother me? I know what to do. So he did many alternative things and incorporated some serious medical things, what was right, authentic, and valid for him. And 2 years later, he has come back. Let me say one thing. He asked himself, God, Goddess, why is this in my life? There's got to be a reason for it. And he realized pretty quickly he had a book in him. It was about evolution. It counters what Darwin says about evolution, and only the strongest survive. His new discovery about evolution is that that is not the case. The evolution for us is about collaboration. And he realized that he was afraid to write that book because who's going to counter Darwin? And Spirit was saying, get to writing the book. So now what he's showing in that book and what's unfolding in our planet is how it isn't the strongest that survive, it's collaboration that makes us survive. And he says it's not that makes us survive, it makes us thrive. That is where we're headed on this planet. He no longer has cancer. He still has his tongue. And he did write the book. It's coming out in August. So, Bruce Lipton. I don't remember his new book, but you look it up. It's coming out in August. His old book is The Biology of Belief, which came out in 2005. So I want to thank you all for being here because you're part of bringing in this new evolution of consciousness. And we have some amazing music that's going to bring it in too. And so let us move on. And Barbara and Tiffany.